speaker.
Thank you. Building on the 19th century tradition established on the shores of New York's Chautauqua Lake, Ohio Chautauqua is a 5-day community event that combines living history performances, music, education, and audience participation into a one-of-a-kind cultural event that the entire community will enjoy. Daytime activity features stimulating adult programs and hands-on workshops for youth hosted by local community organizations. Each evening, family and friends gather as live music fills the air. Then a talented performer appears on stage, bringing a historic figure through personal stories and historic detail. This enriching and delightfully entertaining experience is perfect for every generation. When it's warm and nostalgic vibe, with this warm and nostalgic vibe, this truly unique experience is sure to open minds and start conversations. Please welcome Sean Higgins. Thank you.
Well, that was pretty much it. He ran the whole thing down. Any questions? I'll be up here for 15 minutes answering questions, if you like. Is anybody familiar with Chautauqua, what Chautauqua is? I'm a member of the steering committee for Ohio Chautauqua, as also is Dr. Kurt Ellison. And we're very excited that Pyramid Hill, along with a number of other organizations, are partnering with Miami University Hamilton to bring Ohio Chautauqua to the area. So that's what we're going to talk about and what it is, in case you want me to fill in some more blanks here. And it will be here June 14th through the 18th. It is a 5-day event. So first we want to start out with, okay, what is it? How do you pronounce it? It's pronounced Ohio. Because that's the only thing I need to fill in with everybody else. This, basically, as we talked about, it's a cultural experience. It's a community cultural enrichment and engagement event that is performed live under the big top. We bring in a big red and white tent, and every evening there is I will call portrayer or scholar who portrays a character out of history. I call them a portrayer or scholar because they're, not to put down actors, but they have studied these characters and then will build more on the character as opposed to just reciting lines. So it's actually, as Dick Haight alluded to, grew out of Chautauqua, New York. Chautauqua, actually a word meaning the shape of the lake at that time. And it was at that time a cultural, religious, and political education movement. It started out in the 1870s. And considered the first form of really mass culture in North America. It went up from the United States through Canada. Theodore Roosevelt hailed it as the most American thing in America. Scholars credit it with sowing the seeds of thought in the U.S. and Canada and holds a place in cultural history. As we go back in time, we can see that the Chautauqua movement kind of faded out but came back. It was, again, the idea of high-minded activities to intellectual, moral, self-improvement and involvement, and actually started to become part of summertime education. A lot of teachers, for instance, Sunday school teachers in the early days with a lot of rural schools, this became part of the education process, not only for just reading and writing, but also they had brought in culture with it. So there were educators, there were preachers, there were explorers, travelers, scientists, politicians, statesmen, singers, violinists, musicians of all sorts. Again, it was a cultural movement and cultural lifting and education throughout a lot of rural America at the time. It began to move, again, also to a higher degree where it became more stable and more structured, and there became correspondence courses, literacy, and scientific circles, and it became, as it says, a college outlook for working class people, and again, reaching out to the rural communities, and continued and spread throughout the country. The experience is actually going through kind of a renaissance. There are communities, Chautauqua communities, throughout the country, and it's kind of that idea that a lot of folks are embracing now with this renaissance of lifelong learning, lifelong cultural experiences, and getting to a more authentic cultural experience by the spoken word. There is actually a Chautauqua Trail where you can go to these different communities around the United States and experience Chautauqua in action. Now, what has happened with Chautauqua is there's a lot of states that approach differently but have brought this back. A number of independent Chautauquas survive, but there are states, including Ohio, that have organized Chautauqua over the past couple decades. Ohio Humanities is the organization that has brought Ohio Chautauqua into life. They established it in '99, part of the mission to help individuals and communities explore, share, and be inspired by the human experience. And the tour now travels through 4 cities in Ohio each summer. To give you a little bit of background, Miami University Hamilton is the lead on this and brought Ohio Chautauqua here this year. They tried 2 years ago to get it here, but it is a very competitive process. Didn't get it 2 years ago, so they were able to capture it last year. I think some people may have been involved with when they came to town and were touring in different areas and learning about our community. So want to give credit to Miami University Hamilton. They are the lead on this. They also are putting up the most into the program, but they've done quite a job of bringing this into the area. And if you're not familiar with Chautauqua in this area, it's because it hasn't been here before. So that was one of the goals, was to get it in the area. There are areas around Ohio where Chautauqua is maybe a biannual event. There are people that are Chautauqua groupies that travel around wherever Ohio Chautauqua goes. If that's a little bit of a cultural lifestyle there. But this year, again, thanks to Miami University Hamilton, we have Chautauqua here, and they're hitting all 4 corners of the state. So we're able to have Southwest Ohio as one of the areas where the Chautauqua is coming this year. And there's a theme every year. This year's theme is the natural world. And you see, these are the portrayers and the characters they're portraying. I want to give a little rundown here. Make sure you know who everybody is. Let's say, for instance, the woman in the black dress, that is Marie Curie. Everybody know who Marie Curie is? At least remember from 7th grade science. Polish and naturalized French physicist and chemist awarded the Nobel Prize in both physics and chemistry for pioneering research in radioactivity, and really a breakthrough for women in science. So that is one of the characters being portrayed. Off to the right there, that is Chief Cornstalk. He was a prominent leader of the Shawnee Nation just prior to the American Revolution, and part of his portrayal we'll be talking about regarding the natural world and how the Native Americans and their use of the natural world changed when European influence came in. Off to the left with the green jacket, that is Mary Shelley. Anybody know who Mary Shelley is? Frankenstein. She wrote Frankenstein. She is an English novelist, short story writer, also an essayist and biographer. And talking about the natural world, you get into some areas here. What does Frankenstein have to do with the natural world? Well, we talk about, we get into moral issues and some other types of thought process with the natural world. But her other writings also were very much involved with the natural world. Right in the center with the hat on, that's not Benny Hill. And I only say that because he's not in town yet. That is Theodore Roosevelt, often referred to as Teddy, and of course, soldier, naturalist, President of the United States, believed in preserving the wilderness and making use of natural resources. And then, with the denim shirt there, that portrayer is portraying Dian Fossey. Everybody remember Dian Fossey? Gorillas in the Mist, obviously dealing with the natural world, anthropologist, primatologist, American zoologist. So these are the characters and the portrayers that are coming to town, again with the theme of the natural world. So these are who we're going to be able to enjoy when they come to town. I'd like to point out the partners. As I mentioned, Miami University Hamilton, the regional campuses, the lead partner in this, they were able to bring Ohio Chautauqua here. Other partners include Pyramid Hill Sculpture Park and Museum, Butler County Historical Society, Partners in Prime, and Lane Public Library. So we're going to be participating, the 4 partners there participating with daytime programs. So I want to give you some information about that. But here's how it works. Evenings, it's kind of that festival under the tent feel, very old-time fun. You can take pictures with your electronics, but there won't be a lot of electronics there because it's that old idea of the community coming together for somebody coming to town where they can learn from. So for instance, on the first night, we start on Tuesday, the 14th. Teddy Roosevelt is the speaker that night. And also through Miami University Hamilton downtown, John Vaughn has gotten some local musicians. We have local bands and musicians that tie into the time period or the character who is portrayed that evening. So we'll have some jazz that night, Teddy Roosevelt being the speaker. On Wednesday, we have a Cajun Creole band, and Diane Fossey will be the speaker. Jazz band on Thursday, Marie Curie. Friday, a bluegrass band, Chief Cornstalk. And on Saturday, we'll have a brass quintet, and Mary Shelley will be the speaker. So the idea is, first off, I didn't mention this, everything's free. All the programs are free, open to the public. As we mentioned, multi-generational. So it's a conversation starter, a chance to get a little cultural enrichment. So you come to, we'll have food trucks there, we'll have the music playing, we'll have chairs set up under the tent, and the portrayer will present a program that evening, they'll speak, and then it becomes interactive. If you're there with the audience, you can ask questions of Teddy Roosevelt, and he'll answer. So it becomes very interactive that way. And then he will step out of character and answer questions that he couldn't answer as if he was in character. So again, these scholars are very informed, and there is a give and take, and there is very interactive that way. So you're invited to come participate, and as well as get a history lesson, or also welcome to have a conversation with the character or the actor portraying the character. And it's a conversation starter. That's the idea, is to try to make some conversation move forward. That's the evening. That's the big under the tent time. The tent will be set up in the courtyard of Miami University Hamilton. So again, everybody is invited. Everybody come every night. It'll be something different every night. During the daytime, excuse me, the portrayers also present workshops. Again, these are scholars. So there are divided up between children's workshops and workshops for adults. So every day of the event, at one of the partner locations, 10:30 is the children's program, 2 o'clock is the program for adults. And for instance, I'll give you an example. On Tuesday the 14th, we'll have the portrayer who is Mary Shelley. By the way, they're not in character during the day. They're presenting workshops relating to their character. She's going to have a little writing clinic for the kids at Pyramid Hill on Monday at 10:30. In talking about writing skills and observing and relating and getting that out on paper. And then in the afternoon, 2 o'clock at Pyramid Hill, again this being Tuesday, we'll have the portrayer who was Diane Fossey, and talking about kind of the darker side of wildlife conservation, some of the problems that conservation people run into. So again, a conversation starter there. So each day, the portrayer will be at a different location. As I mentioned, Monday at Pyramid Hill. Tuesday, there will be different portrayers at Butler County Historical Society. Thursday, Partners in Prime. Same format every day. Kids program at 10:30, adult program at 2 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock in the evening is Under the Big Top. Partners in Prime, Miami University Hamilton downtown, and Lane Public Library. So again, we invite you to participate in a number of these different activities. And you see on the tables, we have a flyer that describes what each program is each day, so that you can find the ones that you find interesting. Along the way, also, we could use a couple hands. And not a lot of pressure, but we're looking for a handful of people each night to help us essentially be greeters. It's a very low pressure situation, helping welcome people, handing out printed material, helping people to the seats, pointing people where they need to go, and then enjoy the rest of the evening. So we are putting the word out. We have a couple youth organizations that are going to help us out a couple different evenings, but we could use a handful of 6, 8 people each night just to kind of help us through. But other than that, it's about enjoying a free program from the Ohio Humanities. Again, it's the first time it's been in this area, so we're very excited to be able to present this. And it is a regional event. It will have a draw to our community from the region. We're putting the word out, and people will travel for this. So part of what we're trying to get across, since it hasn't been in this area, is What is it? So hopefully I've given you a little bit of idea of what that. Think of it as living history and interaction with historical figures. Are there any questions?
A little added history. This stamp is from a painting by an artist by the name of John Falter from Falls City, Nebraska. In his paintings, and he did 2, maybe 3 of the rural America stamps, paintings. He would try to put a water tower in the painting. And you can see on the right-hand side above the trees a water tower. When he was a student at Falls City, Nebraska Elementary, he and a friend would sometimes play hooky, and they would go up to the water tower in Falls City and stay there and dream whatever they dream. I know this because my mother grew up in Falls City, Nebraska, and was a good friend of John Falter, and he went on to make quite a name for himself as a well-known artist in that period of time. But just added a little history.
You know, I thought I was prepared for today. I thought I'd done research. I thought I'd done my homework. But again, I'm just here to fill in the blanks. No, I appreciate the support and the interest, because that's what we want to do, is drum up the interest, since this is something new to the area. So thank you very much. Who's paying for this? Miami University is the main thrust of this. They are putting up most of the money financially.